Hey guys, it's Brian here with Retread Paintball, and today I've got a little issue with my Mini, and bought it online on eBay, and it's used, but it's in really nice condition actually, nice glossy, you know, not a lot of nicks or anything on it, and everything actually is really clean, looks pretty good. But I noticed when I shot it more than one ball at a time, had some really significant drop off on anything after one shot. So working with the seller, and he seems like a really good guy, and what I found most of the time with eBay folks, as long as you don't approach them like, hey man, your gun screwed up, or you know, I've had a problem with it, and you know, it's a piece of junk or anything like that, and you know, I'm taking you to buyer protection and I'm going to screw up your feedback, and you know, if you don't get into it like that with people, usually people are much more responsive to trying to help you out. So basically I just told them, look, I'm having this issue, I was able to fix it, and here's what it was, and here's what it cost me to fix it. So rather than returning it, because I really like the gun and I want to keep it and use it, I decided to see if I could work out a way to get him to at least give me the replacement value for the factory part that I ended up replacing. So basically I bought an on-off. I figured if I'm going to buy one, I'll buy an on-off ASA, Empire ASA, like that comes on the axe, because I have an axe too, and this is just so much nicer to take your tank on and off with. So anyway, this ends up being a video to also install an on-off on your Mini if you choose to do that. So anyway, we've got this here. I've got it already, you know, partially disassembled, but I wanted to demonstrate what it's doing right now. So I'm gonna air it up. So it's aired up, it's pressurized, and put a loader on it. This nice Spire that I got used as well, but works really good. For some paint in here. Not sure this ball's any good, but the rest of this is newer paint. And let's see, let's turn it on. Turn this on, and we're ready to shoot. It's chrono too. So chrono is on. That's 107, 154, 176. It's shooting really low, but that might be because velocity needs adjustment. Let's let that. Wouldn't want it to just look like the thing's cranked way down low, and that is the reason why it's having an issue. But okay, so that's shooting around in the 290s, plus or minus a few. So let's try to rip off a string here. Do you see that second ball there? You see those drop? I mean, that's some of the most significant drop off I've seen with a Mini or an axe. So you can see, like, first ball's fine. We're hitting 285, you know, minimum. If I just shoot one, there it's 290, 289. I mean, that's plus or minus 1. There's plus or minus like 5, 284. Not bad, but again, anytime you rip, look at that. It just, you know, completely ridiculous. I've never seen that. But anyway, that's the behavior with this ASA, which I can only think either, you know, maybe it needs to be rebuilt, you know, maybe there's some other issue, with it, I wasn't able to detect anything that was obvious. It looks to be in good condition. This is why you really want an on-off, and I'm only not releasing air via the gun because I've got it loaded. Otherwise, just a pro tip, if your gun's empty, you don't have paint in it, if you fire a couple of shots with it on while you're doing that, then it releases the tension in the ASA, and it's much easier to unscrew. But being able to degas your marker ultimately is a lot more desirable and a lot easier. So anyway, so if you take off the grip panel, you remove these two screws, you can take off the grip panel of your Mini. See if you can see that. So these two screws here, the outside screw, the inside screw, that's your these two are your grip panel screws. So if you just loosen this up, this actually still shows pressure in it, but see, I figured it was going to release a little there, and was hoping this wasn't going to fire off into my chest. Be careful whenever you're working on these types of things. So anyway, if you undo those screws just a little bit, this will slide out, and you'll have your ASA here. So you'll notice there's a little O-ring in the middle. So just kind of pop that guy out, and this will slide off. And there's your Mini ASA. Here's a new one. I got a good deal on this. Shop around online because the price varied quite a bit, is what I noticed. So pop your O-ring in. It's a little grease in here. Yeah, you could probably drop it in from the top. It's not an issue. I don't know why I thought I had to do that, but you don't. So if you insert this back into the grip frame and just kind of hold up with a little pressure, you want that O-ring to seal against the body. Because remember, the whole cool thing about these Empire markers, whether you're talking the Axe or the Mini, is that all the air is going through the frame, so you have no macro line. But you want to make sure that these are, I mean, and don't crank down on these. You don't want to strip them. It just needs to be, you know, tight. Anyway, so there we have it. And basically, this is off, this is on, if you're able to see that. So flip it forward so it's off, screw in your tank. And you flip your lever, and boom, you're at, you know, 200 psi. So you could tune this and drop it down, but plenty of pressure in there. How much paint do we have left? Well, a little bit. We'll finish this off. I really like so far these spires, by the way. I haven't had it jam yet, even when I've broken paint in the hopper, which is quite amazing. I've never seen a hopper do that. Okay, so we're on. Spire's on. Whoa, 260? That might have broke paint in the barrel. Let's see. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of paint in there. But anyway, for the purposes of this, we're still like 287, 293, 289. I mean, pretty consistent. So this thing, someone actually tuned this probably at some point. And let's rip off a string here. There's like two really quick, still at 290. I'm just gonna get on it. So there was like 7 balls a second. You're not seeing any of the behavior we were seeing before, where, you know, 1 or 2 ball after the first shot, the second and third ball on the string would just kind of fall to the ground practically. So that appears to be all the paint I have right at the moment, but I'm just going to try this ball. I've been testing the Spire here while I've been doing this. Annoying. Okay, sorry. So, as you can see, with this ASA, it's ripping just fine. That's all we changed. No other issues. So I'm going to shoot this video over to my seller and make sure he's satisfied with it. And then essentially, he's basically said if I ship this back to him, that he'll reimburse me the replacement cost for this. So if you know anything about these are much more expensive. It's another, 20, 30 bucks at least for one of these. So I'm not asking him to buy me an upgraded part, but I am asking for, hey, this thing wasn't working when I got it, and was troubleshooting, and basically found that replacing this, there's not a lot of like serviceable parts in here. It's kind of hard to get in here. I haven't seen these taken apart yet, but maybe there's a blown O-ring in it. I have no idea. Maybe the gauge just got faulty or something, or it got dirt in it, or you can, from screwing and unscrewing your tank, you can get all kinds of junk in here. There is a filter. I can see the filter from here actually, but I don't see anything like crudded up that's obvious. So essentially, replace this. It works fine. You can see it degasses your marker, and much easier than to unscrew your tank. Okay, some people have asked like what size this tank is, because it is a 3000 psi tank. This is basically one of these guys. It's a 62 3000, so it holds a little bit more than those kind of shorter, smaller, cheaper HPA tanks. And I have a lot of applications where I'm testing like this, where I just want some more air, and I didn't want a really expensive carbon fiber tank or something, so I was able to pick this up fairly inexpensively. Anyway, so that's that. And if you're curious about this tank, this is a carbon fiber tank, and it's a huge one. It's like a 90 or something with a molly mount on the side, so you can strap it to any type of molly gear if you're running a remote line or something. So some people ask about stuff like that, so that's what it is. Anyway, and this is just like a field, kind of like a field radar that I picked up, just so that I can tune all my guns and all my friends' guns, and if then we're ready when we know we're ready when we get to the field, because this is pretty much the chrono that people have at the fields. So then we know that we're very close, and we don't have to sit there at a chrono station trying to get chronoed in to start playing, and we're ready to go. So you can pick these up used. I waited till I could find one, because brand new they can go for like 300 bucks. You can get them for a third that price easily if you wait and look around on eBay. All right, that's it. Thank you.